Hey everyone, welcome back to Pointless Perspectives. This week we are doing a rom-com once again, and this time it's Netflix's Set It Up, which is basically a workplace romance type thing where two overworked, underpaid assistants, according to the summary, come up with a plan to get their bosses off their backs by setting them up with each other. And along the way, there's a lot of funny um, coincidences that occur and that ultimately lead our main characters into the experiences that they have. And we get to watch them on this journey. Um, as you know, Samhita and I both love to hate love but also love to hate romantic comedies, so this one was pretty fun.
It was like one of the few good ones that come out of Netflix, I think. I think even at the time that it came out, like people enjoyed it. Um I think that it's cuz the characters or the actors had like a good dynamic and like they played off each other really well. The
Yeah,
main girl in this, Zoe Dutch, I don't remember what I saw her in.
she's
She
been
was in
in so
something.
much stuff. She's also been in
Mm.
like Ed Sheeran's music video.
Mm.
um
Mm. I
I
wouldn't
know a lot of
even
random
wouldn't
crap.
even remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So she's been in like Ed Sheeran's music video. She's been in like a couple of these romantic comedies just because she's in Before I Fall, Vampire Academy, Why Him, Zombieland. She's also in Zombieland. I don't know if y'all have seen that, but is that she's
Was
in
she
a
in the
lot of.
first one or was she just in the second
I
one? I
think it was
thought she
just
was in the
the
second one.
second one.
Yeah, because I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched either, but like when the
Oh,
trailers came out.
what else is she in? Sweet Life on Deck. She was Zach's girlfriend.
Yeah, that's the one. That's probably the one that I recognize her the most from. Also in this is Lucy Liu, and who's the Charlie's Angels, and that's like
Hmm.
obviously like the big role. I love that movie. So,
I have never seen Charlie's Angels.
bro, oh my god.
But yeah, also Tay Diggs is in it, and he is also in like All American, the new football show on CW, Private Practice, if you are like a Grey's Anatomy fan, and also like a couple of other like rom com type vibes. He was also in Rent, apparently. I don't know, still pretty cool. But yeah, so he also has like a big following, and I like him. I don't know, he's just a nice man.
He like All American, I think, is his like big role right now that like most people would probably
Yeah.
recognize him in, but he's had a good set of like minor roles in a variety of movies, so like he's a recognizable face to me. I guess I didn't know who he was, of course, but then like now after All American, like when I watch certain movies and he's in it, I'm like, oh my god, that's him. That's the coach.
Yeah.
That's what
It's
goes
like
through
I
my
see
head.
him.
Yeah.
And then the other guy is named Glenn Powell, and I've also seen him in a couple of like these rom coms.
Really, I didn't find him that. I didn't know who he was, and I still don't know who he is. Like, I just, I thought he was good in this movie, but like, to me, the recognizable characters were the bosses and like the main girl, and the guy. I like honestly, like if to me, like he probably would have seemed like a new actor more than like
Yeah.
a well
Um,
established. Like he's not someone that I instantaneously knew. I'd have to like look him up, right, to figure out who he is.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I get that. I may or may not have been confusing him with another person, but it's fine. Um, no, I think
He has a familiar, like I guess it,
there's this other guy. I don't know. Anyways,
very common white man features. So like I guess
I'm
yeah.
sorry, Glenn Powell, but it's true. But yeah, no. Zoe Deutsch was the main reason I watched. Like, I ended up like clicking this movie because I was like, oh my god, I know her, and like I liked like she has a tendency to play like very sarcastic roles.
Yeah, I was gonna say like she has a pretty good like comedic way of acting. Like she's good at comedic acting, and like
Yeah.
a lot of her roles have been. I guess yeah, you're right. It's like sarcastic tone and like being
Yeah. It'll be
not
like
serious about anything kind of.
exactly. It'll be like a rom-com still the same, but um it's also like very sarcastic and like she has a very pessimistic way sometimes of like looking at like love, and it's interesting to see like her like pessimistic self find herself somewhere in love. Side note, Pete Davidson was also in this movie.
Yes, yes. I He plays like the friend, right? Like the roommate
Yeah.
of the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like a small like again, just like a role. Just like a
Yeah.
comedy like I don't think he was necessary for this movie to like run,
He
but like
wasn't, but like it was like a solid like, ah, I know him type deal.
uh I was just thinking of something and I don't know why I was thinking of. Oh crap. I
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, it like was in my head and I like completely lost it.
But yeah, so I know like we mentioned that this is like considering all of the stuff that all of the rom-coms that Disney, not Disney, sorry, Netflix has come out with.
Still think about last episode, like our
Honestly,
conversation.
just a
Yep.
little bit, just a
Yep.
little bit. Out of all of the ones that like Netflix has come out, this is definitely one that like I enjoyed a bit more because it wasn't like it was funny, but it wasn't like idealizing this like life, and it wasn't like a fairy tale. It was like a bit more real because it was like they're working their butts off. They're like struggling, and so they come up with this stupid ass plan.
You know what it is? I remember now. It's
Mm.
I was saying that her character gives me very bra girl energy. They
Oh
were trying to
yes.
make her like this like pessimistic, like, oh, like I'm not cute or like whatever kind of vibe. I
No,
don't
I
know if
mean
that makes
facts, because
sense.
she was no, I get you, because it's like again that not like the girly girl, but it's like the sporty. What is the term for it? Uh, the tomboy
Tomboy,
girl,
yeah.
where like she was super into baseball, and like her boss is like runs like the sports thing, and so like she admires her boss for like being a woman in like that does sports related stuff, and
Yeah,
like
like a male dominated
yeah,
field or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, and so like in like one of the early scenes of this whole setup between bosses, she like goes with the other character, the other intern, um goes to a baseball game, and like everybody knows her, like she knows all about like the players and the and whatever plays they're doing, and you see that like kind of tomboy ish bruh girl energy, if you will, come out, and so then you're like, wow, okay, solid.
Yeah, I feel like rom-coms work in two extremes. You either get like this ditzy, like doesn't
Mm,
know exactly what she's doing kind of girl and needs like someone to help her versus or this like I'm I'm oh that's like a repetitive way to say it. I'm independent, not
mm.
self-independent. I'm independent and I don't need someone to help me. And like it's like this guy that either helps them or like melts their like tough ego about having
Yeah,
help.
yeah, like see that's ugh, I wish, because like okay,
It has to be like a guy that like comes in and like helps out,
yes,
like does something. Well, I mean, there also are like the I remember watching like a video about this, like the manic pixie girl.
yeah,
It's like the quirky girl that comes and like
yep,
brightens up like a depressed guy's like
that's
life
what
and like makes
Stargirl
them.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
um
So it's like that, right? Like there's also that with this feeling that you need someone else to like boost you or change you, to like be better. I don't know. Like it's like you need this other person to come. But I do
yeah.
think this movie isn't really that. Like it's how both of their personalities kind of seem like they might clash, but how they find themselves to be a great team in like when they scheme for themselves. And like I
Yes,
think
the
that's
scheming is what
yeah,
brings them together. No,
yeah.
like definitely. Like I think that's one of my favorite things because it's not like a direct like love story, so to speak. It's not like direct in that like they're like they like okay, yeah, because in some of these movies it's like yeah, let's have a fake relationship just to get like people off our backs or something like that, and then it develops into more. This was like they weren't going into it with any sort of romantic feelings or like intentions or vibes. It was simply let's get our bosses off our back.
Simply self-preservation of like
Yeah.
we want to survive working here. We're going to do work together to like bring our bosses to closer together. But it's still predictable. I mean, like you
Oh
don't
yeah.
go into this thinking like, oh my god, like I wonder if they would like. There's not really any reason for them not to, so you don't see that like this. Yeah, they argue, but it's like obviously in everything rom-com related, there's like
Yeah.
a bit of like, oh, we're arguing.
Strife.
Yeah, for like for like 5 minutes at the last 20 minutes of the movie.
And then they're like, "Oh my god, but I love him and I love her," and then blah 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 blah. Wow, that sounds.
It's super boiled down of like what
That also
people
makes
want.
me sound like such a pessimist. Uh,
I mean, it's not really pessimistic.
I
It's
don't
just like
know.
the
Like,
reality of how bad rom-coms depict life, maybe, or like what
yeah,
is
like
realism.
that's what I like. Okay, so I'm a sucker for rom-coms just because, like, of course, they show like an idealized or a very like non-real life version of love and how people get to love. But I also enjoy those realistic depictions of it. Like, so I wish there were a bit more of those in the rom-com sphere. But I get like the whole trope is like it's unrealistic, so you
Yeah,
aspire
yeah.
to have those
I do
stories.
think that when we get into that very like soft, ooh, what's like a soft like version of romance, like it's not a rom-com anymore. It's just like a regular romantic movie. I don't know. Is that incorrect?
I don't know, like I don't think. I mean, it's your opinion, so obviously, no, it's not incorrect. But like, I
No,
don't
no,
know.
no.
I
Like
get that.
it's not even like opinion based. Like I'm just saying like is that not like when we get into like I understand what you mean, like but are you saying like still comedic but like more natural circumstances of how people get
Yeah,
together?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like, okay,
Not
uh,
needing a scheme or
yeah,
like okay.
yeah. Like, not to like tangent off, but like, I recently watched a movie. Okay, because it's like holiday season, and I've been getting into like the Christmas holiday movies, and they have a lot of love stories intertwined. And one of the movies was like, there's this girl that's a cop, and there's a guy that's like technically like he's associated with a crime ring, right? And so she meets him on this happens like this one night, and like it's serendipitous or whatever. And basically the next day she finds out like, yeah, he's associated with this crime lord. You have to go, and then like a person makes her go undercover and like date him.
What what was this movie? What is this movie?
A Christmas Catch or something.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's a Christmas movie. Of course it's bad. Like
Well,
Christmas movies are not
okay, I
set
have to
as
forget. I have to remember
romantics.
what the thing is, like the name of it is. But yeah, it's like no, but it's like that. Yes, it's a Christmas movie or a holiday movie, but rom coms typically follow the same like unrealistic pattern.
It's just in a different season of time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, I
yeah,
get that part. Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like there's like the bunch of like spy romance, but I guess that was considered under like this more like action based realm. They're like
Mm,
action movies, action comedy movies, and like because almost every genre, right? Like the actual main genre of the movie is like action, mystery,
yeah.
suspense, or something, but there'll be like a romantic storyline within it, but it's not the main plot. So like if you don't want action based things, you go to like chick flicks or whatever, romantic
Yeah.
comedies, holiday films that are a bit more focused on the relationship than the like fight scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I get that.
So you watched a Christmas action movie? I've never even heard needing like
I
putting
wouldn't
like this
call
like
it a
spy-ish movie but in the Christmas time.
I wouldn't call it a Christmas action movie. It was actually considered like a holiday movie. Um um I'm trying to find it on Netflix so I can give you the actual like official genre. Um
Is it like one of those movies with like super unknown people, kind of like Hallmark style?
Yes, it is Hallmark style. It was called A Christmas Catch. Yes, yes, it was, and it's drama, crime drama,
Mm,
romantic movie
mm,
genres.
mm.
Genres.
I mean, that's what Netflix is gonna put it into like different categories. So,
Yeah, it's not really a crime drama, not gonna lie. But like but yeah, no. For me, like that was too much. Like A Christmas Catch was too much, but Set It Up was kind of hit that sweet spot where it didn't feel like you knew what was gonna happen,
it was also
obviously.
a scheme of sorts, but the yeah, like the premise of like how they met, essentially, like because they were in the same company and
Yeah.
like they were doing things to be closer to each other, which is what caused them to like each other more. Like that's all more,
Realistic?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Just a bit. Kinda.
The scheming part is very much, I don't think, like why would you risk your job for, that? But
Yeah. I can't say I would.
the bosses were also like extremes, so at least
Uh,
I think. I mean, I don't know. I've never worked in the corporate world.
I feel like I feel like there are some bosses that could be considered extreme or whatever.
Yeah, but
But
I don't know if the solution is what their solution was.
yeah, I wouldn't say yes. Um, but I get the premise. I don't know. All in all, I liked it because it felt more real. And yes, there was scheming, very unrealistic scheming, but it was still like a setting that is more likely to happen than an undercover cop falling in love with her mark, her her thief boy. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
why not? They have all these spy movies about like where they find out that the person that they're married to or dating is a spy and they have to like go on missions for it, like Night and Day and The Killers and like all these plots. So I feel like
Well, I
it,
don't know, but isn't that just like like Night and Day is like where it's like a normal average girl and she meets this spy guy and she's not a spy. He is though.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's like an unordinary, unrealistic, completely out there premise that a spy is suddenly gonna be in your vicinity and then takes you away, and you guys have to do like
I don't know,
spy
man.
things together,
We
and
all
you're
have our
like,
own FBI agents. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah.
How
So
you think
like,
Instagram pulls up our feed like that?
that's just yeah. That's the search, like those companies' investigative teams more than like the government. But yeah,
I don't
I
know,
think
man.
I
It's
think.
like when like Facebook,
But how
like
does that
if
tie
you
into that? How does that tie into Night and Day? I'm
well,
just saying.
you're no, you said that like like an Asian's not gonna come through and be like, yeah, I'm a spy and I'm here now. But the thing is, we don't know where secret agents are. They could be at your grocery store. They could be at the gas
That
station.
I mean, true. That's why like these movies still work because like it's true. Like the situation of like meeting someone that's actually an agent but not knowing when you meet them is very much the truth. Like we're never gonna know who are
Yeah.
considered CIA
If
agents.
I end up with a secret agent, well, one you'll never know, but it'd be
Yeah,
kind of cool.
they'll just have like a basic like what like government job.
I
Aren't
assume as much.
aren't most of the covers like just like regular government positions?
I
There's
don't
no like
know.
special. I
I
don't know.
thought
I don't know
some of
either.
the covers are just like, I disclaimer, I know nothing about like government jobs or anything. All of my
I
knowledge
mean,
comes from
same.
Quantico or NCIS or like Criminal
Quantico
Minds
isn't a
even.
real like division at all. Like what they showed is probably not
Well, yeah, but it's like a real
realistic.
training thing.
Well, yeah, but like they were like supposed to be like a special unit or something like that, weren't they?
Oh, I thought they were just training.
Oh,
They were just
oh,
doing basic.
oh.
Anyways, from what I know, it's like you can work, like you say you work for the government, you say you work as like an assistant position, or like you say you work for like a tech thingy. Because, like, the thing is, there's so many tech jobs nowadays that nobody's gonna blink twice if you say, like, yeah, I work for this software company or something like that.
I mean, fair, yeah. You wouldn't know unless you dove into like the company that
Yeah.
they're working at. I mean, like it should be of like a recogn. I feel like you should know. You would know if it was like super fake, but they're not gonna make it like super fake. It's probably gonna be a real existing company that they just aren't actually.
Well, it also could be just like a company that like the government set up as like a front. Wow, I
Okay, I
read.
think we're thinking too extreme. I don't even know if that's how it
I
works.
don't know. It could
I mean,
happen.
I mean, I don't think.
I had a wild imagination as a kid. I read too many spy books.
It,
Okay.
I
um.
mean, it's true. I think that's what makes it interesting is that the CIA, like the concept of like a CIA government, is like so elusive for us because they're not supposed to be working domestically. So like we don't know about them,
Mm,
and so
that is
right,
true.
like everything that comes out about the CIA comes out like decades after like
Yeah.
an agent has left, and like they can close the like close the file and like release it. Right, they can't release it right when it happens because it's a breach of
Hmm.
security. So.
Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, this person's doing that. You're like, oh, he's gonna die now. Anyways, no, I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm a fan of like, yeah, I don't know. I don't.
I love how we started with like this romantic comedy and have now ended up into like the realm of spy movies, which is definitely a genre of movies that we don't have much knowledge about.
Speak for yourself. Hello. Have you not seen like Rush Hour or like any Jackie Chan movie?
I'm sorry, you think Rush Hour is a spy movie?
Well, it's like an agent movie.
They're regular cops.
No,
Yes.
no.
Jackie Chan is like is obviously like
What's the other guy?
he's a cop, he's an LA cop.
No, but the Jackie Chan's character comes from China. He's like a special agent assigned to this particular girl that goes missing.
Yeah, he's like an agent, I
Exactly.
get, but like
Boom. Agent.
he's not like a spy. Like he's like the agent
He's
that it's like
a secret
Secret Service
agent.
equivalent
He's
to like.
an agent. He's a secret agent. Okay. Nobody can know. He has a very like specific agenda. I'll take it. Damn it. Like Rush Hour or like The Spy Who Lived Next Door. Like he's a lot. Any Jackie Chan movie, my dude.
Hmm. I don't know about his old. I mean, I haven't watched his like actual like older like Chinese movies. I don't.
Mm.
I don't. I think he's more like gets stuck. Like I think that those movies are less spy and more like he just ends up with the wrong crowd or something like that. Like fighting against thugs.
Maybe
I have
sometimes.
no
Okay,
idea.
so I've watched like his some of his older movies, and in a lot of them, he he works to protect like a specific person, right? So he'll wow, we really went off on a tangent, but he works to protect like a specific person, right? And it's usually like a promise to a friend or like a special assignment, and so he has to like find them, protect them, whatever. That's it.
Mm,
I
kind of
consider
like.
that like an agent because he's like specialized in what he does.
Okay. This is where like my knowledge ends. Like I won't know. Like I will enjoy a spy movie, but will I actually know if anything that they're talking about in them is real? Of course not. They're probably so not accurate. But
I read too many books as a kid. Okay, there was this one thing called Gallagher Girls or whatever.
mm,
I learned so much about teen
yeah, I feel
spies.
like on my end it was more like detectives and like cop stuff
Mm.
rather than uh special agent things. I mean, yeah, like Criminal Minds was like FBI like special agents, right? But they were kind
Mm.
of more like just like homicidal detectives on steroids,
Yeah,
using
yeah,
like psychology to like understand like the perp and all
yeah.
that stuff. So
Criminal Minds freaks me out. I cannot.
I think we've covered this with you.
Yes, we have. Moving on. No, okay. So we should probably like talk about the actual movie that we watched.
I mean, we covered
I
the
mean,
movie.
Yeah. No, but basically, I don't know. The thing is, because like in
It's been 2 years since that movie though. I haven't seen like a good rom com come out of Netflix in 2 years. That's what that shows. That's what all this shows.
actually, you're gonna
Yes,
hate
go.
this. You're gonna hate this, but okay. So there's this one rom com that came out last year that I thought was really cute. At least I think it was last year. It's called it's like holiday themed as well. It's called Let It Snow. And it's with like Kieran Shipka.
Oh, I've seen the promotional pictures for it. I never watched the movie because I felt like it was gonna be too cheesy.
Um anyways, it had Isabella Moner, Mitchell Hope, who is from Disney's Descendants, and like a couple other people, Shamik Moore,
Yeah.
who was the voice of I think Spider-Man in Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah. Um
Yeah. I don't know anything about the movie. I remember reading after it was released or like seeing people talk about it after it was released, like little bits here and there. Just like the same old, like it's just like a cringy teen romance film that
yes.
is probably unrealistic standards of romance for high schoolers, but whatever.
Well, some of it was like okay, so like for example, Kieran Shipka and Mitchell Hope play like best friends, and the guy like likes her, and he's finally gonna confess, and blah 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 blah, and it turns out really cute. That's the only one that's like realistic, but it's like really cute to see these awkward high schoolers. Like some of the situations they get into, totally not real, totally not legit, but like the feelings of like awkwardness and like crushes, it's so cute. Even though like I didn't really have that high school experience, it's nice to see. It's cute to see. That's it. That's all.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, I just there's like a limit, I think. Oh, not a limit, but like there's like a threshold that's the same thing as a limit. Wow. Of like I said it
Love.
and I immediately realized that it's just a synonym for limit.
Ah.
But like there's like that point of like how much of the same thing you can watch. And I think for me that was like I for some reason broke it like Let It Snow where I knew that it was going to be like the same
Mm,
like team romance and I think I have felt the need to leave, you know, like that teen romance. Like especially on Netflix, a lot of what they've been releasing has been teen romance, right? Like with To All the Boys I Loved Before, Work It, this, that, like so many movies they
mm,
release are teen romance. And
yeah.
like Holiday Times is probably like one of the only times where they would release like relatively adult romance when they would kind of have like that Hallmark mimic.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think I've been watching more like adult romance and enjoying that more than I have teen romance. Hence why I've delved into the world of like Korean dramas where it's like adult romance shows.
Yeah, and there's also like a good bit of like workplace romance stuff.
Yeah.
um
Those are good resources for realistic.
yeah.
Some of them can be realistic, some of them can be very like
Yeah.
fantasy based, but like just even then, like the focus on like how they build liking to each other and then to love for each other feels more realistic than how
Yeah.
Western media can portray it because like here almost as like instantaneous love or like within like a week of knowing each other you guys fall in love
Yeah.
versus like some of these K dramas like they show like months of
Yeah.
them just like talking to one another and like bickering and not getting together, but then they do, and then when they do it's like still a couple months before like they understand their feelings sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
Like
still
okay.
not like 100% realistic. Nothing will ever be like 100% realistic, but
Yeah. But like yeah, so it's like these rom-coms that we watch, like they always show like this unrealistic like viewpoint or perspective on love. And like that's not what okay, because you know, the stupid saying where it's like life imitates art or like art imitates life or whatever. And it's like if that's the case, I don't want like cuz at some point we're going to be where these characters are, so to speak, in our late ish, mid to late 20s, looking
mm-hmm.
for love or whatever. and I don't want it to be like stupid like this because I know that's not how it's gonna turn out. I know that's not how it's gonna be, and I'd rather have like some sort of realistic interpretation where it's like, yes, you're talking for months, and it's that slow growing, like you fall into
Yeah,
love.
it's just that they can't show that. Like, how much can you show in time passing in a 2.5 or 2 hour movie, right? So I think that's why
Yeah,
they find ways to make it feel like time is accelerating. I don't know. I don't know. TV shows,
yeah.
like, it's kind of easier to see time go by because you don't you can pitch or show it like every episode is not just a week, it's like more than a week
Mm.
of time passing, or like just find ways to show like seasons passing with the, and then that's,
Scenery
like a
and
year
stuff.
has gone or something like that. um
Yeah.
but like American TV doesn't really do just like romantic like TV
Yeah.
shows because
Like
there's no
think
longevity in it.
yeah,
And
like think Riverdale, like nothing. Like instantaneous love, like within four episodes or something.
I mean, they're showing like hooking up and like moving on to the next kind of like relationships, casual, right?
Not like with Archie and Veronica or like Betty and Jughead. It's like
Benny and Jughead was like seasons though, so that's like
yeah,
years.
that was the only one that was like long term. But like
Yeah.
Veronica and Archie or like Cheryl and like Tony or Kevin and whoever, like it wasn't necessarily like long term. It was like hooking up or it was like
Oh, you're just
instantaneous.
saying like this, like how fast they get together and like
Yeah,
how quickly it turns into like
yeah,
love. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like I don't know how realistic that is or how realistic of an expectation. On top of that, they have so much other crap that they do that
Yeah,
just makes
it's
the whole thing.
it's with like shows like that, like the focus isn't really on the romantic relationships. It's on like trying to use it. You're using romantic relationships to like lengthen the plot, so just so that it can like distract viewers until like the next episode so that they can talk about like the main subplot again, like with like the mysteries or whatever the case is, like everything. I feel like there's no like true romantic shows, like it's always something dramatic has to be happening and the romance is just being affected by it or like interferes in it.
Yes, I agree with that.
There was like one show that like I watched, not fully but some of, I think it was called Heart of Dixie, and that one was like kind of like basically she like is a doctor.
Mm,
Oh my god, I don't really remember the show because it was so long ago and I didn't watch the full show. But like essentially, she goes to like a small town after living in like the city,
mm,
and it's like her adjusting to like the small town with like her city girl mindset, right? Like it's different than a small town, haha.
mm-hmm,
And she like interacts, and it's like her like going against like small town people, like not accepting her and her not accepting them, but like there also like a bigger like romantic plot between her, like a love triangle essentially.
mm.
So
Intriguing.
like the romance is a big part, I guess, but it's still focusing on her adjusting to living in the small town and like that, combating that. And then like, obviously after that, which is probably only takes like a season, they shows like in America like to go longer than a season. And so like they they start going into like, villains that come in and try to like affect the town, right? And like how
Mm-hmm.
the town has to fight back and blah 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 blah. So it's like it's not always just looking at a romance.
Yeah, there's so many other factors. I agree.
But that was probably the most like romantic show I think I saw. I might be wrong. Like that show, what is it? Sweet Marigolds?
Oh, Sweet Magnolia.
Magnolias, like that one has like a bit of like more about like relationships, like whether it's family, friends, or romantic, right?
Mm.
They show like the building up part of it a lot more, even though it's only been a season of that show. Like I can tell, it gives me very Heart of Dixie vibes, to be honest.
I see that
Um,
because it's like it feels small town, small business, everybody knows everybody type thing.
yeah, and so like I don't know what else has given me that feel like romantic TV show feeling. I feel like it has to be super dramatic.
Grey's Anatomy.
But that's not but that's like that's
The
all about.
romance is half of it. Do you know how much like people have like gotten with each other and then gotten
I
with
mean,
another
I know
yeah.
about it because like people talk about it. I've never actually watched the show, right? But like the
Yeah,
actual
would not
premise of the show
recommend.
is a medical drama, right? Not a
Yeah.
It's a procedural drama, and then they're using romance to like drive the drama, but like it's not about. But like that's an example of what we were talking about with Riverdale, where like they just throw people together.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, like this person and that person were like really going slow for a second, then boom, the drama is that one of them decides to go hook up with someone else, like, right? Like it's just to drive
Yeah.
surprise and like it. Grey's Anatomy is on the brink slash is probably considered like a soap opera at this point of like dramaticness. So like I don't know if I would see that as just like a romantic comedy show.
Oh, is it? Yeah, it's definitely not like a rom com show. I don't
Yeah.
know. I wish. Okay, because our society has evolved so much, like in terms of like who, like what we see as normal. Like, there's so many different depictions of love in real life, and I wish like our rom coms mirrored that. You know, and like there's so many instances of like random people like falling in love and like meeting each other like in completely random and not absurd situations. And so, you know what? If I ever come into
You might
contact with someone that works at Netflix or like Hallmark, I'm gonna pitch this
I
idea.
I do think that you might like there is I think an Amazon original series that came out
Mm.
that basically follows like four like different like love stories.
Ooh.
And that one is like it's so it kind of feels like four different rom-coms, but it's like I think in TV shows or whatever. It has Dave Patel in it. I can't and Anne Hathaway and like
Oh.
and so like when I remember seeing like the trailers for it, it very much was this like realistic love, but like some of it was successful, some of it wasn't. You know, like you're also kind of describing like kind of like what like Love Actually like depicted,
I
which
haven't
is like
seen Love Actually.
yeah, yeah, I know. But like that one is basically Love Actually is like a holiday love story movie where it follows like nine different couples. So like
Aw.
but so it's like not long in showing them, but like it does a good job. It did a really good job of like taking that many couples and like giving them screen time and also like showing how love can be different, right?
Hmm.
It's a British one. It's a British movie, so like they're all British.
That is
But
nice.
so like I think those are things that you would probably like. I mean, I'm trying to think. It's just that these are some, like Love Actually is a movie I watched like a couple times, so it's like not something I'm just gonna go watch again.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised you haven't watched Love Actually. I think you would like it. I mean, there's probably like one storyline that's a bit like car rash, but other than that, there's like the rest are pretty good.
I think I would like it. One, like when I was growing up, I didn't have like, the
Oh, this was a movie I watched later in life. This is not a movie you watch when you're young, anyways.
yeah, and so like after like when I got actually of age to watch it, I didn't know where to watch it, right? Because it's not something that like I could be like, yeah, mom and dad, I want to like buy this movie on DVD and like we'll just have it forever. Like,
Yeah, I think the
no.
first time it was available on Netflix. It's not available on Netflix now,
Sad day.
but now yes, everything is more digital and like you can at least if you really wanted to, you could rent it.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so maybe I will watch it over our winter break.
It's definitely a holiday movie. Oh, it's
Mm.
heavy, heavy holiday movie.
I see the like the cover and it's like a wrapped in bow and that's cute. I was like, damn.
Mhm.
But yeah.
It's like this very like Christmas miracle vibe kind of thing.
Mm. I mean, I guess that's what season we're in, you know?
Yeah.
I'm about to, after this Thursday, I'm about to be blasting holiday music. Um, I know you won't, but I will.
Yeah, I probably will not. I never.
Justin Bieber's mistletoe under the
Yeah,
mistletoe.
I mean, you play we play like I think the classic like Mariah Carey, Justin
Hmm.
Bieber's couple tracks, and then just like the classics maybe. I don't know.
Hmm.
I can
Yeah.
only hear him about a couple times though. I can't repetitively listen to holiday music.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, they just bring back homey vibes. Obviously, because I have like emotion tied to them. But yeah, I think I'm excited to see. At least I'm hoping that like rom coms will evolve to be something more than like the two extremes of like the manic pixie, right? And like
Yeah,
the
something
bruh
like that. Like
girl
quirky
energy.
girl or yeah, it has to be like quirky girl, bruh girl, or like I don't know, just like so many. It's like you see like a trend where like
Yeah.
the characters are like all over the place. I don't know.
Yeah.
it's it's all right.
It's all right. But on the bright side, we still are entertained and we have because literally if we ever watch like a rom-com either together or like I'll watch it and like I'll text you to watch it or you'll text me to watch one, like we end up like making fun of it like while we're watching it by texting to each other, so it still
hmm
ends up being entertaining. Like, I don't know, it's still fun for me to watch them. But Set It Up is definitely one that I didn't cringe because like you have to have that balance, right? Like I cringe like viscerally, like I have a very visceral reaction if it's really cheesy, and I
Yeah.
didn't spend like more than half the time cringing. So to me, that's like solid.
hmm
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I think that's pretty much it though.
yeah.
We delved into Set It Up, which somehow made us transition into spy movies, and then came back into holiday rom coms, which will probably be some of the movies we cover in the following weeks, since that's the more recent movies available on Netflix
Mm-hmm.
right now. But
Oh,
yeah,
stay tuned, y'all. It's about to
yeah,
get very, very cringy.
yeah. This is where it goes downhill.
Yes, we introduced you to the ideas and the backgrounds of rom coms, and now we're just gonna go into the super cringy stuff, just like straight up. But yeah,
Yep, sounds about right. All
all right.
right, that's it.
See y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.